Easy.
So,
I'm still letting a couple people in.
yeah, so we can continue to let people in, and we want to welcome you all to our Hannukah Havdalah. And it's going to be a great time. It's dark out, it's raining. We can just get all cozy by the light we're going to create here together. So if you have your Chanukiah handy, your Hanukkah menorah, that would be great to get it ready. We're going to do that after we say the Havdalah prayers, but it's good to get ready. Oh, it's nice to see your faces.
I love the growth out of your hair, Beth.
Oh, thank you. It's a COVID thing.
Is that what it is?
So welcome to you on Facebook and on YouTube, on our Temple website, and welcome to you all in this Zoom room. And we are so happy to have 3 nights in a row with you on this third night of Hanukkah. And as we all know, the Hanukkah story is full of light and it's full of miracles. And tonight, I'm just thinking about the miracles that bring us here together, that on this cold and rainy day in the middle of hopefully near the end of a pandemic, that we are able to gather on the third night of Hanukkah and make it so warm and cozy here together. And there's no doubt that there's miracles happening around us if we just pay attention to them. So we have a song about that, and it's called A Way to Say Ah, A Way to Say, no, we're not going to do Havdalah yet, Lynn. We'll let you know when we're going to start that. We're going to start off just with a song. So just take a moment, pre-lighting these candles. Think about something that felt like something you just feel so grateful for in this moment on this third night of Hanukkah, that you can just sit back for a moment and go, oh, even in the midst of this time, I'm so happy this thing happened. And I can say for me right now, I'm so happy to be with all of you. I feel like it's a miracle that my parents in Michigan are able to join us tonight. It just makes me so happy, and to see Gabe and Dee Dee and Asher and all of you here. It's just, Nolan's here, all of Becky and Miriam are here, Maddie's here, Robin's here. It's just a miracle. And look at all that light in Rabbi Carey and in Bailey's screens. Look at that. They've got so much Hanukkah spirit happening. I have a growth coming from my head, obviously, my little Hanukkah antenna. So let's say thank you for these miracles that make our lives so beautiful. We say, it's so delicious. It's so good. We're so happy to be here. A way to say a way to say a way to say, oh, thank God I'm alive. A way to say a way to say a way to say, oh, thank God I'm alive. A miracle happened today. Was I aware? Did I even care? A miracle happened today. And did I pause enough to find a way to say a way to say a way to say, oh, thank God I'm alive. A way to say a way to say a way to say, oh, thank God I'm alive. All right, put it in the chat if you are feeling something that you feel was like a little miracle today, something you're feeling so grateful. Put it on in the chat, whether you're on Facebook or on our Zoom page. Here we go. A miracle happened today. Was I aware? Did I even care? A miracle happened today. And did I pause enough to find a way to say a way to say a way to say, oh, thank God I'm alive. A way to say Oh, and there's some beautiful things coming in on the chat. Amy says the miracle was talking to her mom today. Grateful for the music. Oh my gosh, for some vacuum-packed astronaut sushi tuna today. And it actually was good, says Lynn. Oh, and lots of presents. And there's just beautiful things coming in. Applesauce.
Sufgani oat.
Sufgani oat.
We managed to have them at breakfast and lunch today with you.
Absolutely. So let's take all that light that we found on this dark, rainy day, and let's light our first candle, which will be our Havdalah candle. And Rabbi Carrie's lighting hers, and Dee Dee is lighting hers in the screen. Bailey is lighting hers. Oh, it looks so beautiful. Look at that light, you guys. Yeah, grateful for the rain. Oh, I'm hearing you, Robin. So let's take that breath as this beautiful Shabbat ends, as we begin to say goodbye to this Shabbat of Hannukah. Take that nice deep breath, and here we go. Ya la ya la 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 la, ya la ya la 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 la, ya la ya la 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 la, ya la ya la la la, ya la ya la 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 la, ya la ya la 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 la, ya la ya la 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 la, ya la ya la. All right, over the wine. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri borei peri hagafen borei peri hagafen ya la ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la ya la. Now over the spices. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei v'samim borei minei v'samim ya la ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la ya. Now over all that light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei ha'esh borei meorei ha'esh ya la ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la ya la la la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil ben kodesh lechol hamavdil ben kodesh lechol ya la ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la ya la la la. And maybe Rabbi Carrie or Bailey will unmute so we can hear their sizzle. Beautiful sizzle. And if you're dipping your Havdalah candle into the wine, we can wait for your sizzle too. And we sing Eliyahu Hanavi. Eliyahu Hanavi. Eliyahu Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi. May it be a good week for us all. We say Shavua Tov, 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 Shavua Tov. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. May it be so. A good week. Shavua Tov to you all. Boy, I think, you guys, this is our season of lights, our festival of lights. I hope you have your Hanukkah candles ready for those of you who have them. And we're going to light our candles for our third night of Hanukkah now. So let's sing our blessings first, and then we will light our candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlek ner shel Hannukah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim lavoteinu bayamim hahem ba'azman hazeh. Light those Chanukiot, light those Hanukkah menorahs. It's so beautiful to see this. Whew. This light that we're lighting tonight on all these nights of Hanukkah are said to have a connection to that first light when God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. It wasn't the sun and the moon and the stars. It was a special kind of light that brings clarity and warmth and connection. So on these nights of Hanukkah, we get to enjoy and bask in this light that may be connected way back then to that original light. So you guys, we're gonna sing just 2 Hanukkah songs now while we've got these light so bright in our eyes. And then we get to hear some stories, 2 stories from Cindy Rivka Marshall, and we're so glad she's here tonight with us. So the first song is called Judah Maccabee, and it tells the whole Hanukkah story. We just love it if you just sing out loud in your home, wherever you are. A long time ago, in a land called Modim, lived a young man named Judah, brave and serene. When Antiochus, the tyrant, said the Jews could not be free, he didn't count on Judah, the one called Maccabee. In the window, shining so bright, I can see the Hanukkah light, and it gives me such a warm, friendly glow. when I think of Judah Maccabee so long ago. Now Judah and his brothers said it wasn't right to take away their freedom. They knew they'd have to fight. They fought 3 long years till the king could take no more. They rebuilt the holy temple, its beauty they restored. In the window shining so bright, I can see the Hannukah light, and it gives me such a warm, friendly glow when I think of Judah Maccabee so long ago. When the temple was restored, the brothers searched and searched in vain for oil to light the lamps, but not enough remained, except for 1 small vial, enough to last 1 day. But instead it burned for 8, and they proclaimed a holiday. In the window shining so bright, I can see the Hannukah light, and it gives me such a warm, friendly glow when I think of Judah Maccabee so long ago. Tonight we light our lamps, sing our songs and play our games. We remember that great miracle hidden in the flames. And today, throughout the world, we rejoice that we are free to carry out the mission of Judah Maccabee. All right, let me hear you. In the window shining so bright, I can see the Hannukah light, and it gives me such a warm, friendly glow when I think of Judah Maccabee so long ago. And you know what? Let's go to our gallery view just for a moment before we sing our next song, just so we can see what's happening in the Zoomicals around us. Let's see if I can help that. Oh, you guys, it's so nice to see your faces. It's so nice to see your lights. Robin Kuttner, yours is so beautiful. And Spivak family and Liebers. Oh, this gives me that warm, friendly glow that song was talking about. How wonderful. So our next song is not in English, and it's not in Hebrew. It is in a language called Ladino, which is an old language. It's a combination of Hebrew and Spanish. And this song is called Ocho Candalicas. And it talks about all 8 nights of Hanukkah and all the fun that is going to be had on these 8 nights of Hanukkah. All right, you ready, you guys? Hannukah linda está aquí, 8 candelas para mí. Hannukah linda está aquí, 8 candelas para mí. Oh, una candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí. muchas fiestas vou fazer, con alegrias y placer. Muchas fiestas vou fazer, con alegrias y placer. Oh, una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, siete candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Los pastelicos vou comer con almendricas y la miel. Los pastelicos vou comer con almendricas y la miel. Oh, and can you put your fingers up for this like Rabbi Carrie and Dee Dee are doing? You ready? Oh, una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, siete candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Woo! Nicely done, everyone. Whew. So we are blessed in our community to have Cindy Rivka Marshall in our midst. And Cindy, welcome to you tonight. And thank you for being here to tell us these stories. So get comfy, you guys, on your couch or at your dining room table. And we're going to settle back, and in our Hannukah, in the glow of our menorahs, we are going to get to hear two wonderful stories. Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you, Cantor Beth. Thank you, everybody. It's so nice to be here and join you for this celebration of Hanukkah tonight. So I have two stories, and they're both my versions of folk tales. So first, before I start, I want to ask a question. We were just holding up fingers to count. If you were to hold up the number of fingers of how many latkes can you eat at one sitting? Can I see? What would you say? Ooh. Oh my goodness. Lots and lots of latkes, right? Okay. Well, this will be a good story for you. There was a girl named Tova. She lived with her family, and they usually had plenty of food to eat, but there was one summer, well, they were having a little trouble making ends meet and didn't always have as much food as they would have liked. Well, Tova wanted to be helpful. And since it was summer, and she remembered seeing across a field there were some wild blueberries growing. So she took her pail and she decided to go ahead and go over there to pick some blueberries. She imagined she'd bring back a whole bucket full, and her parents would be delighted. But when she got there, well, it seemed as if someone else had already been picking blueberries, or maybe some animals had. She was dropping the blueberries in her bucket, bloop, bloop, barely even filling the bottom. Then she was so hungry, she took a handful and stuffed them in her mouth. She was disappointed and was about to go home when she heard a voice coming from the bushes over there. "Oh, will you help me, please?" She went over and she saw that there was a man stuck in the thorn bush. "Oh, it's my only coat and I'm afraid it will tear. Can you help me?" Well, Tova carefully lifted the thorns from his almost threadbare coat, and he was freed. "Oh, well, would you like some blueberries? There's not too many." "Oh, why, thank you. Oh, I would like to repay you for your kindness. You did such a mitzvah helping me." Tova said, well, you don't need to repay me in any way, but he reached into a sack and he pulled out a frying pan. Tova had no idea what she was going to do with a frying pan, but she thanked him politely. And then he said, that is not just an ordinary pan, my dear. You take that pan home, put it on your table, and you say these magic words, and out of nowhere, potato latkes will start frying in the pan, and then they'll be ready for you to eat. You mean whenever we're hungry, we can have something to eat? Thank you. Well, before you go, let me tell you those magic words. Nes gadol haya sham. Can you remember that? Well, yes, that's like from Hannukah. It means a great miracle happened there. I can remember that. And once again, Tova was about to leave when he said, wait, you need to know this also. When you have enough latkes, then you have to stop the pan by saying these words. Judah Maccabee. Yeah, I know Judah Maccabee from the Hannukah story. Okay, thank you again. Now, as Tova was heading home, she beat up a little song in her head just to remember all those words. And I'd love it if you could sing it with me. It went like this. Nes gadol haya sham. Try it. Nes gadol haya sham. Judah Maccabee. Judah Maccabee. And when she got home, Tova put that pan on the kitchen table. She called her family all around, and her sister Malka was wondering, where'd you get that? Just wait, I'll tell you. And Tova said the magic words. Maybe you can say them with me. Nes gadol haya sham. A great miracle happened there. Oil started to heat up in that pan, and then potato latke batter just appeared out of nowhere, sizzling in the pan, and then flipping over. Those latkes were frying to perfection. They all grabbed plates and held them near the pan as they flipped out of the pan onto their plates. They were crispy and delicious. And when they had eaten their fill, well, Tova said the words to stop the pan. Do you remember what they were? Judah Maccabee. And the pan not only stopped frying latkes, but it sat there spotlessly clean. That was a miracle. Well, from that time on, her family, well, they had plenty to eat. Whenever they needed to, they could always have potato latkes. I mean, who says they're just for Hannukah, right? They all put on a bit of weight and felt good. And then, as Hannukah was approaching, Tova said, why don't we have a party for Hannukah? I mean, we can invite so many guests. We'll have plenty of latkes for everyone. And so they planned it. Now, that afternoon before the party, Tova and her younger sister Malka were home alone. It was their job to get things ready. They were stirring a big pot of applesauce on the stove. And Tova took out the Hannukah, the menorah, and suddenly she realized, we're running out of candles. Oh, I have to run to the store to get some more candles. Malka, can I trust you to be careful on the hot stove? I'll be right back. And Tova dashed off. Now Malka felt very grown up and important, standing at the stove, stirring the applesauce. And then she decided to eat some. And then she said, I'm hungry and I don't have to wait for Tova. Why does she get to always be the one? And so Malka took that frying pan, put it on the table, and she said the magic words. Do you want to do it with me? Nes gadol haya sham. And it worked. A great miracle happened there. She grabbed a plate and potato latkes were popping out of the pan onto her plate. Oh, and when she put that homemade applesauce on, she was savoring those delightful flavors. She was so busy eating that she forgot all about the pan. It had continued to fry latkes, and they were piling up all over the table. They were even falling on the floor around her and piling. Oh, boy, I better stop the pan. Oh, wait. What was those words to stop the pan? I can't remember. I bet maybe you can remember. But Malka could not remember. And as she stood there, the potato latkes were piling up all around her and filling their house. I better go and get Tova. So she pushed open the door, and potato pancakes fell out of the door with her. She started to run down the road. Now, meanwhile, Tova had gone to the store, gotten the candles, and was heading home. She turned the corner, and she saw on the ground there, is that a latke? And then she looked up the road, and she saw her sister running towards her, potato pancakes following her down the road. Well, they both ran back to the house. They had to fight their way through mountains of potato latkes to get in the door. And then Tova said the magic words to stop the pan. Can you say them with me? Judah Maccabee. And the pan stopped. Well, they had so many latkes. They invited the entire town to come and join them that evening for a party. And after that, well, everyone knew if ever they were a little short and needed some food, at any time they could go and visit Tova with that frying pan of hers. She never did see that man who had given her this extraordinary gift again, but she told the story to anyone who would listen. And from that time on, they called that place Latke Town. So, thank you. I have one more story for you tonight. I'm glad you liked it. So this is a folktale that I have seen in many versions from a lot of different countries, in fact. And this is my version for Hannukah. There was once a teacher. She had an idea. You see, the school was right across the road from a barn, and it happened that the barn was empty. She got permission to use that barn for a week. And she told her students, I'm giving you a challenge. For the next several days, I want one of you each day to volunteer to somehow fill the barn. Well, the students weren't sure what she meant by that, but the teacher just kept saying, however you can fill the barn. It's up to you. Be creative. And so, one student volunteered for the next day. Now, after school, they all gathered by the barn. And this boy's family came along with their truck. Now, they had a large truck because they had a business doing yard work for people. And filling that truck, well, there were all these barrels filled with leaves that they had collected that fall. And there were lots of bundles of twigs and branches. And they all helped to unload the truck. And the boy said, let's just spread everything out all around the floor. So that's what they did. And the teacher looked around and said, "Good. So everyone, what do you notice?" And the children looked and they said, "Well, I noticed that there's green and brown and some reddish and yellowish leaves." "Good. And what else?" "Well, there's lots of different twigs and branches." "Oh, I noticed some bugs over here." "Yeah, and I noticed that it smells kind of musty and damp and it's making my nose stuffy." "Okay, and so what do you think? Does it fill the barn?" Well, the children looked around and they said, "It does cover the whole floor, but, well, there's a lot of space up above it doesn't fill." "Okay, well, great job, everybody. Let's clean it up." They all helped clean it up and they went home. Now, the next day, another child had volunteered. That afternoon after school, she came with dogs because, you see, she had a dog walking business and she had gone around and asked everyone if it would be all right to bring the dogs to the barn. So she was holding leashes in both hands and others were helping her. They had dogs on leashes that were going far, but they were keeping them in the barn. They all were beginning to yap. Some of them were barking. Could you help me make some of those dog noises? I don't know what they sounded like. Can you tell me? There was such a commotion in there. And the dogs were running around. Their little toenails were tapping on the floor. There were some big fluffy dogs and little tiny cute dogs. And, well, certainly the sound of all that barking filled the barn, didn't it? And the teacher asked, what else did they notice? They noticed that the dogs were all different sizes and colors and shapes. And she said, and does it fill the barn? They said, yeah, they're running all over the place and their sound is filling the barn. Good, very good, said the teacher. But someone pointed out, well, there's still a lot of space up there that isn't filled. Okay, well, let's see who would like to try tomorrow. And one child volunteered. Now, she told them that she wanted to meet everyone at the barn that next day, just before sunset. And so that's what they did. And they were very surprised that all she had with her was a small paper bag. Well, they went in, and she had them all sit in a circle on the floor. And then, out of her bag, she took a Hannukah, a Hannukah menorah. It happened that day to be the last night of Hannukah. She put candles, and with the help of the teacher, they lit a match, lit the shamash, and then lit the menorah. Now those who knew the blessings joined her, and their voices filled the barn. And then they all looked around and noticed. Their faces sitting in that circle were glowing in the light of the candles. And behind them, on the walls, well, their shadows were reaching way up the walls. And the light was flickering. It was illuminating all different corners and crevices. And that light even reached up to the roof. Well, indeed, that Hannukah light filled the barn. And so it is my hope that during this week of Hannukah, you can all feel the light of Hannukah. May it fill your homes and fill your hearts with joy and hope. And I'd like to just put in the chat I don't know if it worked. I wanted to put a couple of questions, which are just what can you do to bring joy and light to others in this season, and what brings you light? Maybe you can fill the chat with some answers for that. So Hannukah Sameach, happy Hannukah, and may you all be safe and well.
Cindy, that was absolutely beautiful. And our screens and our hearts are full of gratitude to you. Thank you for bringing your light to us on this third night of Hanukkah. There's nobody like you. We're so grateful to you for being here. So this evening of ours is nearing an end. We know that some of you, I have dinner waiting for you, and thank you for being here. Some of you, I think, have been here all 3 nights of Hanukkah so far, and we're going to challenge you to keep it going on these 8 crazy nights with Shir Tikvah. So if you can make it, tomorrow, I believe, is our art project. And that's going to be really fun. Rabbi Carrie is going to lead us in how to make this beautiful art project. I won't give it away, but if you got a Hanukkah goodie bag, you have the things you need for it already. And I believe, is that at 5:00 tomorrow? 4:00? It's at 4:00 tomorrow, Sunday afternoon, 4:00 for a great art project. And of course, we'll begin by lighting candles together also. So you guys, let's end with singing about light and being light givers. We are each our own little candle, shedding light in this world. And this song says, give light and people will find the way. And teach peace and give love. And it goes like this. Give light and people will find the way. Give light and people will find the way. Give light and people will find the way. People will find the way, I do believe. Teach peace and people will find the way. Teach peace and people will find the way. Teach peace and people will find the way. People will find the way, I do believe. Stand together, and people will find the way. Stand together, and people will find the way. Stand together, and we'll all find the way. We'll all find the way, I do believe. Give love, and people will find the way. Give love, and people will find the way. Give love, and people will find the way. People will find the way, I do believe. Give light, and people will find the way. Give light, and people will find the way. Give light, and people will find the way. People will find the way, I do believe. We'll all find our way, I do believe. Ooh-wee. So let's all get back into our gallery mode so that we can say Shavua Tov to each other. May this be a good week, a light-filled week. See you at 4 if you can tomorrow afternoon, 4:00 for our art project.